Excited today, Madhvi. Hello, beautiful people, and a huge welcome to you all to the second day that we kick-started our amazing conference yesterday with so much energy. Beautiful people, we have a treat, an amazing treat for you this evening. We have every reason to be excited this evening. Let me tell you why. Because today we have not one, but two world-renowned speakers in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, as if that is not tantalizing enough, let me tell you something. In our midst, one of those world-renowned speakers is actually the winner of the World Championship, and she's from, you guessed it, the best district, District 74. Now, ladies and gentlemen, more on that a little bit later.
Oh my God, Baltimore, that is not one time tantalizing, but two times tantalizing. Let me take it to three times more tantalizing. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will be flying. We will be taking a trip to four amazing, awesome, beautiful, fantastic, fabulous countries. I know it. I wish it was real. But hey, we don't have to pay for those air tickets, do we? Today, we will be visiting, catch your breath, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Malawi. Now, my friends, prices are also on the menu today. If you want to win very attractive prices, I recommend you right now, take your laptop, take your mobile and type #Toastmasters Conference. Today could be your lucky day to win those prizes. And I would suggest that you stay with us till the end because we have a fun game after you've had your mind blown away from those amazing countries. You don't think that your minds will be blown away, do you? Ha! Let me give you a brain teaser. All right? If I tell you that one of these four countries is home to more species of fish than any other lake on the planet. Yes, on the planet. Which country do you think I'm talking about? I repeat, the countries we will be visiting today are Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Malawi. Beautiful members of the audience, share your responses in the chat. Which one of these countries is home to more species of fish than any other lake on the planet? Vladimir, please give us some drum rolls, can you? Okay, I will do that. Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Malawi. Which one of these countries is home to more species of fish than any other lake in the planet?
Which one is it?
Okay, members of the audience, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Malawi. Come on, come on, come on. Let those responses flood in. Okay, let me give you the answer. The correct country is... You will have to wait a little while, sorry. It is an exciting day and Madhvi is in a teasing mood.
Madhvi, you're teasing us a little too much right now. Our audience can't wait to embark on this trip. Okay, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. We will be flying to visit two remarkable countries. Let's start with the first one. This country is home to the world's oldest desert. It has some of the highest sand dunes in the world. It has the world's most extensive meteoroid showers. It has the largest population of free roaming cheetahs in the world. Madhvi. Would you like to visit it?
Can't wait to visit it. In fact, I'm dying to get out of my chair and book my passport and my flight right away. But Valdemar, did you say cheetahs? I think I will keep a safe distance away from those cheetahs because last time I checked, I could not outrun those.
Madhvi, I find myself to be athletic, but I'm not going to try to get into a race with a cheetah anytime soon. Then let's book our flights, ladies and gentlemen. Namibia is our destination. We are on our way and we're ready for this trip. So Zoom Master, take us to Namibia.
In Southwest Africa lies a land of compelling fascination, a land for those who worship the shrine of Africa at its most transcendent, but also at its most unconventional. This is Namibia. Described by the Sun People as the soul of the world, Namibia is rugged, natural, soulful, and liberating. Our people are as unique as our vast landscape. These dry lands of Namibia have been inhabited since prehistoric times by the Sun People, sometimes called Bushmen, who have been genetically proven and identified to be one of the groups of which all known modern humans have evolved from. We are a land of enduring tribes and timeless tradition. Kauko land and Damara land are where we find some of the most dramatic landscapes, uniquely adapted desert animals, and the proud Ovahemba people, a semi-nomadic tribe known for their red ochred skin, hair, and ravishing headpieces. The Ovahemba, along with the Sun People, are one of the last semi-nomadic and nomadic tribes left on the African continent. Namibia is home to the world's oldest desert, largest population of free-roaming cheetahs, highest sand dunes, the driest country in southern Africa, and the place where the desert meets the sea. Namibia is a land of contrast and striking beauty. While the forces of nature have been fierce and unforgiving, they have also been bountiful. In this cauldron of heat and relentless force, life still flourishes, from desert-adapted elephants, lions, over 10,000 succulent flora species, to the deep-rooted ngara melons that has been a source of sustenance and income to the Topna people on the banks of the Kwisep River. As with all of Africa, Namibia has abundant wildlife in our national parks, as well as large tracts of land which lie unfenced and unrestrained for our wildlife to traverse. Much of this land has been made available to local communities, allowing man to coexist with nature. Namibia is a melting pot of sights, sounds, aromas, tastes, and emotions in abundance, just waiting to be experienced. As Richard Mullins once said, "The only man I envy is the man who has not been to Africa, for he has so much to look forward to." Welcome to Namibia.
Whoa, the land, the country where the desert meets the sea. Wow, mind-blowing. I would love to go there. Did you see those cheetahs? Did you spot them? I spotted them. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to visit another amazing country. The next country that we are going to visit has a remarkable history. First things first, I want to know from our audience, do we have any astronomy enthusiasts here? Anyone who is interested in astronomy, in the stars, in the planets, in meteorites? Anyone? Maybe you can wave your hand, raise your hands, respond in the chat. Does anyone love the stars, meteorites? Do you see shooting stars at night and make a wish? Oh, I wish I could visit all the countries in District 74. Do you? If anyone among you is interested in stars and planets and meteorites, you will be interested to know that around 200? Nah, 2,000 million years ago, a meteorite the size of a mountain fell onto this country, making a crater of 300 kilometers across. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this country has the oldest crater from either a comet or a meteorite. Which country am I talking about? Any guesses? Which country has a crater the size of a mountain? Okay, I can see you're struggling to guess. Let me make the point hit home. Oh, the answers are flooding in. Let me confirm, this country is the only country in the world to have hosted the Soccer World Cup, the Rugby World Cup, and the Cricket World Cup.
I know. You're talking about South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now about to land in South Africa. Zoom Master, please, without further ado, fly us over to South Africa.
South Africa, known for its natural beauty, it boasts magnificent coastline. Dubbed the Rainbow Nation, it is a multi-ethnic society, home to a diverse group of cultures and religions. The country has 11 official languages. However, many are able to communicate in English.
The country is made up of 9 provinces, namely
KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, Western Cape, Northern Cape, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, Northwest. Let's start our tour in Gauteng. Approximately 50 kilometers from Johannesburg, we find the Cradle of Humankind, recognized as a World Heritage Site. It is where fossils of some of the earliest known life forms on Earth were found. A portion of the Cradle of Humankind extends into the neighboring Northwest province. The well-known Sun City Resort is in the same province. Richtersveld Cultural and Botanical Landscape is located in the Northern Cape. It is covered in desert and many mountains.
Algravis Falls is also located in this province. The waterfall is a spectacular sight when the Orange River is in flood.
There are 11 official botanical gardens in South Africa. Hantam Botanical Garden is located in Limpopo. In the Eastern Cape is the Addo Elephant Park, a wildlife conservation park which is home to a variety of animals. The National Arts Festival takes place in Grahamstown annually.
KwaZulu-Natal is home to most of the Drakensberg mountain range. Tugela Falls is found in this region.
Isimangaliso Wetland Park is another World Heritage Site. It is one of the largest estuary systems in Africa and the southernmost coral reefs on the continent. Ushaka Marine World, Africa's largest aquarium, is a place not to be missed. For lovers of art and architecture, the Nelson Mandela Capture Site is a good start. It is home to a memorial structure which consists of 50 30-foot high steel plates. When standing at a particular point, the columns show the viewer Nelson Mandela's image. The Free State is the agricultural centre of South Africa and known for its maize production. Vredefort Dome marks the site where a meteorite hit the Earth almost 2 billion years ago. The Dow Cheetah Centre is a worthwhile visit. It is a great place to view and learn about cheetahs. For those who enjoy a magnificent view, a ride on the Graskop Gorge in Mpumalanga. The area is also home to one of the world's highest cable gorge swings. The swing launches off the top of a waterfall.
Part of the Cape Floral Kingdom, a World Heritage Site, is found in the Western Cape. It includes various wilderness areas and nature reserves such as the Hoop Nature Reserve, Kirstenbosch Gardens and Table Mountain. It is the only floral kingdom found entirely in one country.
Robben Island is located in this province. It is known for the incarceration of South Africa's past political kings. Nelson Mandela, the country's first democratically elected president, was one of the incarcerated on the island. South Africa is surrounded by the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Cape Agulhas is the southernmost tip of the African continent. It is where the two oceans meet.
South Africa is home to many wine farms.
Pier, Meerlus and Seven Sisters vineyards are only some of the many farms in SA. If you're an animal lover, a variety can be spotted at the 19 South African National Parks. You are also likely to encounter a penguin or two while taking a stroll along Boulder Beach in Cape Town. For an adventurer, there are a multitude of activities to do in South Africa. South Africa offers something for everyone. The Rainbow Nation looks forward to welcoming you.
Wow. That was South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Did you know that South Africa had so many amazing places to visit? Oh my gosh. Well, you have to love the fact that it's so diverse, so many different languages and ethnicities working together. You must really love the accent, eh? The different types of accents that they have in South Africa, it just changes just like that. It's amazing. But halala South Africa, halala. I hope you're in the house and I hope that you are ready for the next countries that we're about to visit. But you know what we're going to do right now? We are not going to be taking a look at the country. We're going to take a little bit of a break from countries because we have a treat for you right now, Madvi. Now, we are going to be taking a look at one of our speakers, and it just happens to be that it is my turn to introduce a brain teaser for you. Are you ready for this brain teaser?
I am
All right.
ready. Audience, are you ready? I think they are ready, Valdemar.
Okay, I hope you are ready because this one is really going to be a good one. He is an award-winning motivational speaker, top-rated award-winning management trainer. Per year, he gives as many as 160 presentations. He has profited countless individuals and organizations. Who is he?
I don't know. Many names are coming to my mind. Robin Sharma? No. Wayne Dyer? Les Brown? Okay, I give up.
Okay, Madvi, those were amazing guesses, but let me give you more hints. Let's go. Of the groundbreaking book, The Nuts and Bolts of Public Speaking, he is the author. Starting to ring a bell, huh? Of the Amazon's #1 best-selling book, World Class Speaking in Action, he is the co-author. If that's not enough, I think this fact is going to hit home. He was the 1999 world champion of public speaking. He is amazing. He is captivating and mind-blowing.
And of course, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, Craig Valentine is in the house. But I want to add 2 more lines for him. Not only is he a reputed name in the field of public speaking, but he is also cool and dashing. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Valentine, the award-winning speaker and trainer, is here to demonstrate how to present with impact and persuade with ease. Let me tell you that this is the process that has helped Craig Valentine, 1, to win the World Championship of Public Speaking in 1999, 2, to become the Mid-Atlantic 3-time Salesperson of the Year, Glencoe/McGraw-Hill, by achieving, mind you, 233% of gold. 3, to run a highly successful employment academy for homeless men in Baltimore City, taking them from homelessness to home ownership. And as if that was not enough, 4, to earn the Distinguished Alumni Award from Johns Hopkins University, where he also received his MBA. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready to pick up the tools to present with impact and persuade with ease, please help me welcome the incomparable Craig Valentine. Craig Valentine, the floor is yours to shine.
I need you to help. Let me share my screen.
You can do so, Craig.
It's disabled.
Sorry, my mistake. It's done now.
All right. Okay, and I'll just reintroduce myself for a second. Craig Valentine, thank you. Yes, that was a fantastic introduction. I got it. If it seems like I'm running around a little bit, I know we're not supposed to tell people this, but my daughter was in Boston. She's 19 years old, and she called us and she said she just tested positive for COVID. And so I said, oh my gosh, we're rushing around. So my wife went up to get her. And the reason my wife went up to get her is I said, I can't miss District 74. Like this is one of my favorite districts in the entire world. So she's going to be fine. And keep in mind, this is the same girl who, when she was 6 years old, I was traveling so much that she decided to write me a note. And I keep it right up there on my wall. You might remember me telling you this. Imagine if you received this. It says, "Dear Daddy, I miss you. You are the best daddy in my whole family." Now, I got to be honest, up until I got that note, I thought I was the only daddy in the whole family. It's like, maybe I should stay off the road and make sure no more daddies are coming to me. But anyway, won't go there. I want to thank you for cheering for me and clapping for me, because believe it or not, some people don't like me. You know why? Because I joined Toastmasters. Get this. Think about my title. I joined Toastmasters in March of 1998. Got my CTM in March of 1999 and won the World Championship in August of 1999 in my very first try. Now, I can see you're impressed, but can you feel the haters on the call? Because people come up to me all the time. They say, "Craig, you don't even know what it feels like to lose a contest." I say, yes, I do. I lost the humor speech contest at the club level. And I'll never forget, a seasoned Toastmaster named Alan Mish came up to me afterwards and he said, "Craig, you can win the World Championship of Public Speaking." I said, what are you talking about? I just lost a humorous speech contest at the club level. He said, that's okay. He said, the only thing wrong with your humorous speech was that it wasn't funny. You ever given a speech you wish you could take back? Yeah, I can't see you, but I promise you that will happen much less often after today, because you're about to pick up some tools you can use to keep your audience on the edge of their seats and make them glad they came. Raise your hand if you're glad you're here. Good. Then the tools work. All right, so here we're just going to do two things because I have an abbreviated session. I only have like 25 minutes. You're going to see how to craft your message and how to sell it. How to craft your message and how to sell it. Before we get into how to craft it, I got to ask you a question. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a speech contest. Okay. When I did win the club level and won the area level, I was going to division. And they were holding the division contest at the Red Cross building in Baltimore City. So I go to the building, I go into the elevator. I'm going to go from the first floor to the third floor. As soon as I got on the elevator, there was a guy who was right next to me, standing next to me. And I never told you this before. He looked like he could be a minister or a preacher or something like that. And so the moment he saw me, he said, "You're in the contest, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am." And without saying anything else, he reached into his pocket, pulled out a bottle of oil, unscrewed it, dipped his finger in it, and started walking towards me. And then dabbed me in the forehead. And before I could say anything, he just looked at me and said, "I've just anointed you." I said, "Say what?" He said, "Yeah, I'm a man of faith. What I did was very important. I've just anointed you. You're going to be the one who makes it." Now, I got to be honest, I had no idea what was going on. And plus, I'm Black. So I was like, am I ashy? Like, what's happening? Why is he anointed? And he just kept saying, "I've anointed you. I've anointed you. I've anointed you." Thankfully, the third floor came. And I hopped off that elevator as fast as I could. And I got into the contest, everybody speaking. And then it's my turn. And I get up into the contest and I'm going and I'm flowing. Everything's going really well. And check this out. In the middle of my contest speech, my mind goes blank. I had no idea what to do. This had never happened to me before. And I literally just gave up. And I just started looking around the room. And then my eyes latched onto his. And at that exact moment, everything came rushing back. And I just picked up where I left off. Now, here's the interesting thing about when I lost my mind. Believe it or not, I was actually supposed to pause. I don't know if I was supposed to pause that long, but I was supposed to pause. So I picked up where I left off and I finished the speech. And at the end of the speech, the contest master comes up and says, "And the winner of today's division contest is Craig Valentine." And all these people started to rush the stage. And guess what the first thing they said to me was, "Man, the reason you won, that pause. Oh my goodness, what an amazing pause. What a pause, what a pause." And all I could think was, well, you know, I am anointed. You know, he never claimed me. You got to understand, there were people who said, "I helped Craig Valentine win the world championship," and they didn't. This guy actually helped me, but he never claimed me. In fact, I've never seen him again in my life. He just came into my life, lifted it, and left. Isn't it appropriate that we met in an elevator? Right? Because he met me at one level and left me at another. Now, let me stop right there. Why did I tell that story? Because what a lot of people don't realize is this. When it comes to speaking, it's not about the lines, not exclusively. It's about the spaces and faces in between the lines. That story wasn't about the lines. It was about this, right? It was about this. 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 Don't just think about your speaking as what you say. Think about it how you say it. So the question is, well, what do I do when it comes to gestures and things like that? You don't worry about them. Here's what you do. You go back emotionally to that moment. And as Dale Carnegie said, when you are under the influence of your own emotions, when you speak, all the right facial expressions will come. All the right gestures will come. Everything you need will come with you if you don't tell us, but you take us. So I want to make sure I get that across, because it's not only the lines, the story lives in between the lines. All right, so let's look at how to craft the story and how to craft the message and how to sell it. What goes into crafting? Tell a story and make a point. Tell a story, make a point. Give you an example. I just came back from Chicago last week. Well, if you don't know, Chicago is where I won the world championship. But the world champion, being a world champion is a blessing and a curse. Because if you had been walking towards me in the Chicago airport 2 days after I won the world championship, you would have seen my wife on one side of me and me carrying this gigantic crystal trophy. It's right there. Just walking through the Chicago airport. And everybody's looking at me like, wow, who is that? Is that, I thought I heard a lady say, is that Denzel Washington? But this is what I realized my life would never be the same. This petite lady in a pink dress runs up to me in the middle of the airport. Everybody's watching. And she starts reading the bottom of my trophy. And she says, 1999 world champion of public speaking. Wow. Say some things. And I was speechless. But that's when I realized no matter where I go in life, people are going to say, would you mind saying some things? So I came to a fundamental understanding about my life as a speaker, and really about yours too. When it comes to speaking, I can no longer get ready to speak. I have to stay ready to speak. My new motto is don't get ready, stay ready. Stop, tell a story, make a point. What's the point of that story? Don't get ready, stay ready. You're going to remember that. You're going to repeat it. You're going to repost it. You're going to retweet it. And when you get the buzz, you get the biz. Write this down. Good speakers speak to be remembered. Great speakers speak to be repeated. I got Salima's looking at me like, can you say that again? Yeah, good speakers speak to be remembered. Great speakers speak to be repeated. And you can do that if you tell a story and you make a point. But I have a question for you. It could be controversial. Do you have any, how can I say this, drunk uncles? Like people who let a story get away from. You ever seen a story that was all over the place? Yeah. Have you ever given one? Me too. And it's because the speaker doesn't start crafting his message in the right place. One of the first things we need to do when we start to craft our message is come up with what I call a foundational phrase. Now, what's a foundational phrase? Don't get ready, stay ready. What's a foundational phrase of another story I tell? Well, let's take a look. Here I am in Ireland telling a story. In fact, raise your hand if you watched any of the Summer Olympics. Oh, I love the Summer Olympics. But I like the 2012 Summer Olympics even better. Because, do you know who the oldest participant in the 2012 Summer Olympics was? Equestrian. Yes. It was a 74-year-old equestrian from Japan. 74-year-old equestrian from Japan. So my 7-year-old son and I are watching this on TV. And of course, all the commentators kept harping on was the guy's age, right? They just kept saying, he's 74. Can you believe he's 74? By golly, he's 74. Finally, my 7-year-old son looked up and said, well, how old is the horse? About a week later, I couldn't get that question out of my mind, so I Googled it. And they asked this man, they said, well, how long will you continue to compete? Guess what his answer was? He said, I can go on forever, but my horse is 15. And that's when I realized my son's question was much more relevant than I thought. And even though he was only 7 years old at the time, my son, not the horse, he taught me something very important about self-development, about being great. Never stop asking questions. Never stop. The moment you stop asking questions is the moment you stop growing. The moment you stop growing is the moment you fall. Never stop asking questions. So stop right there. What's a foundational phrase? Never stop asking questions. So we need to have a foundational phrase for each story that we tell. Okay, so here's a question for you. What do you notice about those phrases? Don't get ready, stay ready. Don't get ready, stay ready. What got you here won't get you there. Never stop asking. What do you notice about those phrases? Put it in the chat. What do you notice? What do they all have in common? Yeah, they're memorable and punchy. They're also short. Write this down. Your foundational phrase should be fewer than 10 words. Why? Easy to remember. Easy for who to remember? Them and you, right? But here's the real reason why it should be fewer than 10 words, because it forces you to be crystal clear on what your message is. Make no mistake about it. The number one reason a speaker won't get his message across, he's not crystal clear on what his message is. Fewer than 10 words forces you to be crystal clear. Now, write this down and tell me what it means. No phrase, no stage. What's that mean? No phrase, no stage. Hopefully you're saying, if you don't have a foundational phrase, don't take it to the stage yet. Why? Because your story's not ready. So the question is, well, where do I take it? The answer is, take it to Toastmasters. Hello, they will give you a foundation. They'll tell you some other things too, but they will give you a foundational phrase. I'll give you an example. Here's an example of a story that I wanted to tell, but I couldn't tell it because I didn't have a point. Now, keep in mind, this is an honest mistake that I made. Take a look. Here's an example. You ever gone to a drive-through restaurant, placed your order and been misunderstood? I can't mention the name of this restaurant, but its initials are K, F, and C. So imagine this, you're in my passenger seat, we're driving through the KFC, and I always order 3 thighs. That's the only part of the chicken I like. So we get up to the intercom, and she says, welcome to KFC, may I help you? I said, yes, I would like 3 thighs. She said, small or large? And before I could even register it, I just blurted out, do you have large thighs? Yeah, I'm gonna recommend that you never ask anyone that question. And she came back and said, yes, we have small and large sides. How may I help you? But by now I'm just rolling over in embarrassment. And I called a friend of mine that night and he said, Craig, what you say is not always what they hear. Boom. Guess what I have now? A foundational phrase I can use for every communication and leadership speech I give moving forward. So what I'm saying to you is, don't create your speech in a vacuum, right? Do it together. Go give it to a Toastmasters club. See what they get from it, and they'll help you come up with a foundational phrase, okay? In fact, we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna play a game. You're gonna get involved. We're gonna play a game called Find the Phrase. And here's how it works. You're gonna see a quick story from me, and then within 30 seconds, you're gonna come up with the best foundational phrase you possibly can. Fewer than 10 words. And the winner gets a prize. Now, what's the prize? I have an entire Speak and Prosper Academy. It's $797 online. Everything that can keep you from getting your audience to laugh, to back of the room sales, to creating a keynote so you can get booked time and time again, to uncovering humor, to telling stories that you can keep them on the edge of everything. It's $797. Whoever gets the best foundational phrase gets access to the Speak and Prosper Academy for life. My life. Okay, so here's the story. You come up with a foundational phrase. 1997, I'm flying back from Los Angeles to Baltimore. It's a 5-hour flight. I sit down on the flight, guy sits down next to me. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy looks kind of like me, just a slightly older version. I wonder what he does in life. Now, if you fly a lot, you'll appreciate this. The first 4.5 hours of the flight, what do you think we do? We say absolutely nothing to each other. The last half hour of the flight, he turns to me and he says, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. You know, I've actually been here the whole time. He said, I'm sorry I didn't talk to you earlier, but I didn't want to talk to you and then find out you were boring and then be stuck talking to a boring person for 5 hours. You understand? And oddly enough, I did understand because I'm kind of the same way. But what do people try to say to you on a flight? What are some of the ways they start a conversation with you on a flight? What are some of the things they say? Probably, what do you do? Where you from? Where you going? The where you going? Like, hopefully we're going to the same place, right? Drop me off over Durban. He didn't say any of that. In fact, it felt like he was looking through me. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, well, right now I'm an events planner. Eventually I'd like to be a professional speaker. I said, why? What do you do? He said, I'm a professional speaker. I said, you are? He says, yes, as a matter of fact, I am the #1 gospel comedian in the United States of America. I said, man, I didn't even know there was such thing as a gospel comedian. He said, that's why I'm #1, right? Now there's more to that story, but you don't need it. With what you got right there, you can come up with a foundational phrase, fewer than 10 words, that's memorable and repeatable. So go ahead and start putting some things in the chat and I'll pick a winner. Fewer than 10 words. What do you want to do? I like that. Good. What else? Talk to strangers. Good. There's a little change on what we have learned in Jesus' name. Looking through me. Good. Now keep in mind this. You want it to be something that when people think of that, they think of you. Okay? So don't say hi, change your life. I like that. So don't come up with a cliche. Come up with something that, like, if it was me, I'd have to Craigize it. Say it in my own way. Oh, I like that. Right there. To be the best, be the first. I can't pronounce the name, but you saw who it was. To be the best, be the first. That's the person I'm giving it to. So we go back in the chat, we can see that's who won the prize. Let's give him a hand or her a hand. To be the best, be the first. And if I was playing jazz with you right now, I'd say, you know what, let me riff off that a bit. You're number one when you're the only one. Right? So we could just play with that and find a foundational phrase. So whoever said to be the best, be the first, that's our winner. Feel free to contact the organizers and they'll contact me afterwards. You'll get your prize. Okay, so that's what we want to do. We want to tell a story, make a point, foundational phrase, fewer than 10 words, but also realize that the story lives in between the lines, spaces and faces. All right, before I wrap up, I want to make sure you get an idea on how to sell your message too. Nod your head if you agree with me, even though I can't see you. When you're in speaking, you're in sales. Yeah, when you're in speaking, you're in sales. Listen, the best speakers embrace this. The least effective speakers avoid it. And the sad part is you only have to master one formula. And this is it. Never sell a product, always sell the result. Never sell a service, always sell the result. If you're in leadership, trust me, never sell an idea, always sell the result. Even if you're at home, I want you to sing along with me. If you're in leadership, never sell change, always sell the result. If you're going for an interview or a promotion, never sell yourself. Oh, you know, I have 15 years of experience. Nobody cares. Always sell the result. Case in point, since I'm old now, many decades ago, I went to buy my first car ever in life. And I went to the dealership. Salesperson came up to me. He says, "Are you looking at that car?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Great, let me tell you about it. This car has these types of brakes, this type of engine, this type of window." What's he trying to sell me? The car, right? I just said, never sell a product, always sell the results. So I said, "Thank you, but no thank you, I'm not interested." I went to a different dealership, same day, different salesperson, same car. Now I gotta be honest, this guy must have anticipated where I was emotionally at that point in my life, you know, young and single and looking to mingle. Feel free to use that one. And so he walks up to me and says, "You looking at that car?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You're gonna look good in that one." He said, "Yeah, man, you're gonna be flying down the road. The wind's gonna be blowing through your hair. And the girls, let me tell you, the girls will be all over you." What do you think I did? I said, "Where do I sign?" Right? He made the sale not because he sold me the car, but he sold me the what? The results. And he lied. I was lonely in that car. Just me and my payment. So don't lie, but definitely don't sell the product, the service, the idea, change, or yourself. Always sell the result. Raise your hand if a year from now you'd like to be at least 3 times better than the speaker you are today. Good. Then for absolutely free, for no fee, you can go to one of my websites, 52speakingtips.com. That's 52speakingtips.com. And every week for a year, you're going to get an audio lesson from me. And by the end of that year, you will be at least 3 times better than the speaker you are today. Stop. What was the result? 3 times better. What was the resource? The website, right? Which one did I mention first? Look like Viola said, free, yeah. No, it's the result. So here's the addition to that formula. Never sell a product, always sell the result. Always put the result before the resource. In leadership, always state the result before the request. Because I'll be honest, if I did it the other way around, the way most people do it, it would have sounded like this. Raise your hand if you'd like to receive 52 emails from me. I don't think my opt-in rate would be as high. Okay. So hopefully you got some ideas on how to craft your message, some ideas on how to sell your message. I wish I had more time to talk to you, but maybe next time if you invite me back, we'll have a little bit more time. Before I go, I just want to say this. When it comes to speaking, when it comes to presenting with impact, you got to be there before you get there. If you can see it, you can be it, you can view it, you can do it. And I'll close with this. When I was that events planner in the mid-90s, one of my jobs, believe it or not, was setting up the stage for the speakers. Can you imagine that? All the while wanting to be the speaker. And so I would walk into these auditoriums and these ballrooms, and I'd lay down the power cords and tape them down. And I'd move the chairs, and I'd set up the lectern, and I'd move more. They used to call me the chairman because I used to move so many chairs. But it never failed. Every single time I walked into one of these empty ballrooms, I would walk up front, and I would stand in front of the lectern, in back of the lectern, and I would look out at the empty audience, and I would imagine that one day people would show up to see me. And I always said the same exact thing every time I stood behind that lectern. I said to myself, today, I move the chairs. Tomorrow, I move the audience. Hopefully, in some way, you've been moved today. Thank you.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been moved today, whoa, I don't know what can move you. I was busy writing and writing and writing. The applause won't be enough for so many golden nuggets that we have gotten today. We are really honored and privileged, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I am ready, because now I know I don't need to get ready, but I will stay ready. And Valdemar, I wish to be known as a good speaker and a great speaker. So I will speak not to be remembered, but I will speak to be repeated. Wow, that was such an amazing session. We wish to have Craig Valentine again with us. I hope he will grace us with his presence and with so much wisdom in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Craig Valentine has spoken in so many countries all over the world, and here we are in the comfort of our zone, of our homes, laid back, chilling, and unlocking these techniques. I did say today is an exciting day, and I saw that it is also an exciting day for someone in particular. Simpong Giseni, you got the prize, huh? Lucky, very lucky. But my friends, you can also win amazing prizes. Please don't forget to type hashtag Toastmasters Conference on your social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. There are some thrilling prizes to be won. And now, Valdemar, I know that our audience is eager to continue its visit to the amazing countries of District 74. The next country we are going to visit is big, bold, and beautiful. It is completely landlocked, surrounded, not by one, two, no, not by three, not even by four, five, no, not even by six, but 7 countries. It is home to all the big 5 of Africa's wildlife: leopards, lions, rhinos, elephants, and buffaloes. If you're still trying to guess which country I'm talking about, let me tell you that it hosts the majestic Victoria Falls. Yes, I'm talking about Zambia! Valdemar, would you like to visit Zambia?
No, I wouldn't like to. I would love to visit Zambia. And I believe that our audience can't wait either. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to visit Zambia? Please let us know in the chat box. We want to hear from you. Who's ready? Who is ready to visit us or visit Zambia? Let us know in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Let's go. Lindy says, let's go. Oh, yes. Right. Oh, I'm in. You are, Lucy. You are. Oh, yes. Let's go. Okay. All right. All right. Calm down, guys. Calm down. Now it's too much. You're too excited to go there. We still need to get on the plane. Please, Zoom Master, fly us out to Zambia.
Welcome to Zambia, a land of adventure. Experience relaxing resorts. Discover abundant wildlife up close. Home to the greatest attraction of them all, the breathtaking Victoria Falls, Zambia.
Take in the mighty Zambezi River, the majestic Victoria Falls that form Zambia's natural southern border, and the national parks overflowing with wildlife. Immerse yourself in the fast-growing towns and cities, teeming with history, light, and life. Then visit the vast lakes that seem to touch the stars and engage with a plethora of different ethnic groups, cultures, and languages. Together, they make up the intricately woven fabric of this remarkable country. To visit Zambia is to begin a love affair that will never be exhausted, and unlike any that you have ever experienced before. You have to see it for yourself. It is a truly awe-inspiring experience. Livingston, once Zambia's capital, and the Zambian side of the falls have become a mecca for discerning adventure tourists. Peer into the abyss from Devil's Pool at the edge of the falls. Career down the powerful rapids from Batoka Gorge in a whitewater raft. Bungee jump from the historic Victoria Falls Bridge, or fly over the falls on a flight of angels. Whatever activity you choose, you'll be left with a renewed appreciation for the sheer might of nature. Kafue National Park is amongst the biggest in Africa and is home to more than 130 species of mammal and more than 400 bird species. Enjoy the wildlife from a different perspective on a boat cruise or a canoeing or walking safari. For sheer density of game, South Luangwa National Park is second to none. It certainly lives up to its nickname as the Valley of the Leopard. Zambia's bodies of water are as abundant as its wildlife. Although it is landlocked, this country has more water than any other in Africa. There are the long, meandering rivers, some of which are interspersed by waterfalls that are only narrowly surpassed by Vic Falls. Yep. Then there are the lakes, from the vast, remote Lake Tanganyika, far in the north of the country, which is one of Africa's Great Lakes, to Lake Kariba, Africa's biggest man-made dam. Kariba is an increasingly popular beach holiday destination that is strangely reminiscent of the French Riviera. Or for the best bath of your life, visit the incredible Kapisha Hot Springs. Another unique aspect of this remarkable country are the Zambians themselves. The country is home to 72 different ethnic groups and languages, all of whom have their own diverse cultural traits and traditions. One thing they do have in common: they are all unfailingly warm and welcoming. Zambians are famous for their very own special brand of hospitality, as well as the pride they take in their Zambian identity. Wherever you go in Zambia, you will meet people who will go out of their way to leave you with a positive impression and make you feel at home. So what are you waiting for? Book your trip now and enjoy the kind of African experience you've always dreamt of. Whatever it is you're looking for, you can always be sure to find it somewhere in Zambia. So let's explore.
Okay, you might be wondering why is Valdemar laughing. I just saw Penny is a comment and she says that now I'm going to Zambia right now. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one, definitely. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and the introduction into Zambia and into its culture, into its wonderful tourist attractions as well. My gosh, how about that Devil's Edge? I mean, it's nice to live on the edge, but that's a little bit too far or close to the edge for comfort. But besides, it was really amazing. That takes us to our next country on the list. You know, Madvi, when you spoke about Victoria Falls, I thought that you were speaking about this next country that we are going to visit. I actually thought you were speaking about Zimbabwe, because this, and get this, Victoria Falls, huh? See what I done there? Victoria Falls. Victoria falls between two countries. It's actually Zambia and Zimbabwe. Very, very, very interesting. Okay, it's actually located on in the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia, which is really amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that Zimbabwe has the largest man-made lake in the world? Not in Africa. The largest man-made lake in the world. Wow. And as if that's not enough, and Zimbabwe, I'll even call it Great Zimbabwe, holds the Guinness World Record for countries with the most official languages. Now, listen, it holds, yes, 16 official languages. I can't name them all right now, but please do check that out. Zoom Master, please do pilot us out to Zimbabwe.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and greetings from Harare, Zimbabwe. My name is Zivai Matondo, and I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. Zimbabwe is known for its majestic Victoria Falls, the largest waterfall in the world. Zimbabwe is also known for its largest man-made lake when it comes to volume, which is our Lake Kariba. Zimbabwe also has 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. When you're looking for the best places to go on a safari, think Zimbabwe. We have Hwange National Park, we have the Mana Pools, and these are places one can visit if they want to go for the best safari in Africa. When we think of food, our staple food is what is known as sadza. And sadza is a stiffened maize meal that one can have with either a beef stew, a chicken stew. If you're not wanting to go for the meat, one can have it with vegetables. Or maybe you want to dip in sour milk. Most of us love and enjoy our sadza.
Hi, my name is Tendai. I love Zimbabwe because we are an inclusive people. As a person living with a visual impairment, I feel safe, supported, and included in this beautiful place I call home.
Zimbabwe, a land of milk and honey, teeming with natural resources, holding the potential to feed the world, bringing fabulous flavors to the dining table. Pull up a chair and take a deep breath of the Zimbabwean fresh air.
What a best place to be. What a best city to be. What a beautiful country to be. A beautiful place with a nice weather. A secure place, Harare, Zimbabwe. That's where I find Toastmaster Division Z, the Phoenix Toastmaster Club, where you can find some nice and special food a special popcorn called maputi, a different types of animals, and a tourism place, Vic Falls. There's a Zimbabwe court say in French, attention, attention, il y a un danger qui vient. And that danger is happening today. Thank you.
Let's all agree, we can't talk about Zimbabwe without mentioning the majestic Victoria Falls, the Kariba Dam, or the Great Zimbabwe. But what makes Zimbabwe more special? It's the love that the people have, as well as our strong culture. There's only one way to experience this: if you come to Zimbabwe.
Wow. Attention, attention. Il y a danger qui vient. That was what was mentioned, right? Beware, beware. Danger is coming. And danger came. Danger came because our heart got struck by so much beauty. Did you feel that emotion, that feeling, that passion, that rawness in the video? I think we have many people who love Zimbabwe here. Many people are from Zimbabwe, right? I was seeing the chat, so many responses and so many Zimbabwe lovers. Yes, yes, I can see that. And I have been wanting, yearning, longing to go on a safari since long. I think Zimbabwe will be the first safari for me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have taken a trip to 5 countries today. Yesterday, it was 6 countries. Is my maths correct? In District 74, we have 12 countries. So which country has not been visited yet? Any guesses? Today we visited Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, Malawi? Not yet. Valdemar, where are you from?
That is a great question right there. I'm from the beautiful and sunny Mozambique.
All right. Unfortunately, we don't have a video on Mozambique, but hey, we have just the right person before us who live and direct can speak from the heart and tell us a little bit about Mozambique. Isn't it, Valdemar?
Definitely. And I'm pleased to tell you a little bit about the place dearest to my heart. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing about Mozambique that you have to keep in mind. It is incredibly hot over here. I mean, it's so hot that your sweat will even perspire. I hope you're still with me on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many beautiful beaches in Mozambique. We have an amazing place here called A Terra de Boa Gente, which translated means the land of good people. Now we have the full Big Five as well, which you can find at Gorongosa Park. And as if we don't go big enough, we have one of the largest suspended bridges which connects Maputo and Katembe. So ladies and gentlemen, if ever you're looking for an amazing place to spend your holiday, Mozambique is the place to go.
Sure, and Valdemar will be hosting us. Of course he will. Now, Valdemar, I have a puzzle for you and for our audience.
Okay.
Now, I am the one who will give a brief about a celebrity, and you have to guess who that person is. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Audience, are you ready? Are you ready for this puzzle? Okay, people are trying. Just try your best. I promise it is not a tough one. Malawi will come in a little while. For now, it's a beautiful puzzle. And here we go. In memory of her parents, she walked 1,200 kilometers from France to Spain. She did it in hiking boots without any pain. She later swapped her hiking boots for a high heel to packed houses in New York and Nashville. Who am I talking about?
Madvi, 1,200 kilometers. You're talking about an athlete. You're definitely talking about an athlete. Yes.
Okay, let me give you some more tips. I promise this is going to hit home now. She was terrified to speak in public. She decided this fear would no longer make her sick. She embraced her fears and became a speaker so captivating that in 2021, she was crowned the world champion of public speaking.
Of course. You are speaking to the very talented Verity Price herself. Oh my gosh, the one and only who made District 74 swell with pride. Woo! Okay, you're talking about the world champion of public speaking.
I am indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, Verity Price is in the house, and none other than Valdemar will introduce this amazing speaker with so much pride.
Oh my gosh, I get to introduce the world champion! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, last year in the finals at the World Championships of Public Speaking, Verity captured the judges with her mesmerizing speech titled A Great Read, which inspires the initiative for us to improve our lives by writing a different story. Helping people is one of Verity's greatest passions, and today she will inspire us to write a different story. Why not help us write our next winning speech? Ladies and gentlemen, next, please pay attention to our next speaker. Why? Because she's going to give us 4 tips on how to write a winning speech. My friends, please help me with a warm round of applause. Welcome, our champion, Verity Price.
But first of all, we will watch a very interesting video to warm up our hearts. Zoom master, please play the video.
District 74. Oh my word, it is so good to be with all of you. I see my camera's decided to do a little blur, but it'll sort itself out just to keep us on our toes. I have to be honest, what incredible day, chairs. What a beautiful job you're all doing. And just to be here with all of you, I actually have been feeling really emotional watching those videos of our beautiful countries that make up our incredible district. And I'm just going to stop my video and start it again so that we can try and sort out. There we go. There we go. Yeah, just to be home. I can't tell you, I have spent the last 9 months traveling the world from my bedroom, but this is my first real come home to the district. And as we're getting ready to discover who our next district champion is, who is going to win the trophy this year, and hopefully go on to represent us at the semifinals and the finals. And my hope is that we bring this trophy back to Africa. So I just want to ask you, who here likes winning? Let's just put it in the chat. Who likes winning? Whether it's a raffle, the lottery, whether we're winning the international speech contest, what do we like winning? Because we like bringing a trophy back, I think. And I see lots of people love winning. Okay, good. I'm not alone. Awesome. So I love winning. I think we all love winning, but I want to tell you a story of a man who really loved winning. And the thing he wanted to win most was the lottery. He thought, if I can just win the lottery, then my life will be changed. And so every Saturday, he would sit in front of the TV, he would watch those lucky numbers being drawn, and he wouldn't win. But he'd be back the next Saturday and he would watch again, and he wouldn't win. And this went on week after week after week, and he got tired of never winning. Until one day, in frustration, after once again he hadn't won, he looked up at the sky and said, "Why? Why do I never win?" And a voice came down from above and said, "You might want to buy a ticket." My fellow Toastmasters, last year in March, I bought my ticket. I put my name in the hat of the international speech contest. I dared to dream that it was possible to win that contest, that it was possible to bring the title back to Africa for the first time. And I committed to giving the journey everything I had. And on the 28th of August last year, I felt like I won the lottery when I heard those life-changing words, "And the 2021 world champion of public speaking is Verity Price." The room around me erupted with joy, but my heart exploded. I couldn't believe that it had happened, but the only reason it happened was because I bought my ticket. I put my name in the hat and I dared to dream. And I believe that is how all great accomplishments start. You have to sign up. You have to get in the ring. You have to commit to the journey, and you have to give it your all. Now, I've realized since winning and since speaking all over the world to thousands of Toastmasters that there are two things that you really have to have if you want to do well in a speech contest. So I just want to check if you know what they are. If you had to give it two things that a speaker has to have to potentially become the world champion, what do you think those two things are? Let's see, let's pop it in the chat. What do you think the two things are you have to win this contest? I'm interested to see what we think makes for a winning speech. A message, 100% Viola. I love that. A story and a point, a story. I'm loving you. What else? What else do you have to win in a contest? Passion, good voice, a message, confidence. Confidence coming through a lot. Being confident. Yes, the confidence really helps. Rule of 3, absolutely beautiful language, engaging, capture the audience, a true story. Yes, I'm coaching a lot of speakers and sometimes I have to catch them and say, did that really happen? Then we need to get to the truth. Connection with audience, participate, a desire to win, humor. Okay, so you know what needs to go into a winning speech. I see that. Eloquence, comfort, beautiful. If I had to take all of this and put it into 2 concepts, it would be these. You firstly need to have the right mindset, and then you need to have the right story. So you have to have the right mindset and you have to have the right story. And if you don't have both, it's very hard to get past area or division. You have to have both. I've seen people with the right speech, but the wrong mindset bow out even after they've maybe won a district level because they didn't get coaching, they didn't get help. You have to have the right mindset and the right story. Now, I really know that because the first time I entered this contest, I had the wrong mindset. I was arrogant. I wanted to be a winner at my club. I didn't even know that the contest went past my club. I wrote my speech the day before. I thought, oh, it's going to be easy. I'm going to win this. I was a professional speaker. It was 2012, and I entered with the wrong mindset. My sister Kay, on the other side, entered with a mindset of, I'm a nervous speaker. I've only done 6 speeches at my club. I better start writing the speech a month before. And I felt a little sorry for her, to be honest. Like, she really worked hard for that contest. And so when I walked in on the night of the club contest, I was like, oh, shame. Kay's worried in the parking lot. I've got this. Well, you probably know where this is going if you've heard my sister's name before, Kay, because she beat me at the club contest in 2012. And she didn't just beat me at club. She won area, then division. She then became the 3rd woman to ever win district. And by then I'd gotten over my jealousy and I was supporting her. I actually had to admit to her that I'd been so jealous, but I started supporting her journey and I got to witness the effort, the energy that she put into her speech, the talent that she had, but more importantly, the time that she took to take what was a fantastic speech and make it as good as she could so that she went all the way to the world semifinals. With, for the first time in 6 months, we heard in 2nd place, Kay Price Lindsay. She was beaten that day by a preppy young American speaker by the name of Ryan Avery. 2 days later, he became the 2012 world champion. Watching Kay's journey showed me that you have to be up for the work. You've got to overcome the challenge of fear, insecurity, anxiety, the challenge of finding that second speech, the obstacles of making time in your busy life. You have to be prepared to put in the effort, to make friends with feedback, and you're going to get a lot of feedback in a contest journey, and learn from others. Watch other previous champions, see what they've done that worked, and apply it to your speech, to your style, to your story. Having seen that, do you know what I decided? I just don't have time to enter speech contests. So I didn't. I had excuses every single year. I never bought my ticket. I did in 2015. I made it as far as division. When I got knocked out, I came 3rd. I went, you know what? I'm not any good at this contest. They don't appreciate my style. I'm not going to bother. And I didn't enter for 6 years. So what changed? I found the right speech. I wrote a speech in November 2020 about my mum teaching me to leave the world better than I found it. And when I delivered it at club as an icebreaker for my Pathways journey, I went, that is a contest speech. And a little voice said to me, maybe you could become the next world champion. And it was like a goosebump moment because it seemed crazy to even consider that thought. But a part of me said, what if that voice is right? And what if you could be the first person from Africa to win this trophy, to bring it home and to show all the speakers in Africa that we have stories, we have voices, we have messages that the world needs to hear. And in that moment, I committed to buying my tickets and to getting on the roller coaster of my life. Because I see someone saying, how do you know that it's the right speech? It had a message that was universal. It had a message that I believe the world needed to hear. We need to leave this world better than we found it. And it was personal and it was emotional and it showed how I was transformed by my mother and I was ready to give it everything. I committed to that journey and it was hard. It was in lockdown. We were having to do this on Zoom. I was having to learn how to do it virtually. I had an 18-month-old baby on the other side of the door, but I asked my husband to help. You know, if you're committed to a vision, if you want to make something extraordinary happen, it's amazing how you'll find the time and you will make the space. I wrote my final speech, the first version, at 3 o'clock in the morning. It woke me up and I went, that's it. I have to get up. There goes my sleep. And I wrote that speech out and I knew that I had my next right speech. I realized that if I wanted to have a champion mindset, I had to make friends with feedback. I visited 42 clubs in 16 countries on 5 continents, so many in Southern Africa. People gave me such invaluable feedback. I received feedback from more than 200 Toastmasters. I read every single word. I took the pieces that worked and applied them to my speech and I changed it. And I leaned into learning from others. I reached out to an international coach. I spent a lot of money on coaching. I asked my club to support me. They raised money to help me pay for that coaching. And I believe that all of that put together, overcoming the obstacles, the challenges, putting in the effort, listening to feedback, learning from others, that is ultimately what helped me to win. But only because I bought my ticket. Otherwise, I would have been sitting watching on August going, what if I bought? Could I have won? But I don't like asking what if questions. Buy the ticket, find out. But what I've realized is, we're going to have the semifinals here next week. We're going to have our district champion at the end of May. And hopefully they get through to the semifinals. Hopefully they make the finals. Let's hope we get another winner. But at the end of contest season this year, only one person out of 35,000 is guaranteed to win. Every other contestant is guaranteed to grow. And that is ultimately the gift that we get from this contest. Yes, one person is going to win, but every other Toastmaster who enters, who stretches themselves, who puts in the effort, the time, tries new things, learns from others, gets feedback, they grow. And that growth is worth far more than any trophy anyone's ever going to give you. I'm thrilled that I have this and that I can bring this back to Africa and say I'm the world champion. But actually, if this gets lost, no one can take away the growth that I gained last year. And now I get to pay it forward. I get to share it. I get to help other contestants shine. And that is what I believe is the gift of this contest. So if you think about it, when it comes to speaking, great speeches are gifts that you give to your audience. Would you agree? Do you agree that a great speech is a gift that you give to your audience? And yes, we want the gift of winning, but actually you're only going to get that result if you've given something to your audience. And I love giving gifts. I love receiving gifts. And in our family, Christmas is our favorite day of the year because there's so many gifts. But a few years ago, we decided to mix things up. And instead of buying lots of gifts that people probably didn't need, everyone was only going to give one gift. And the challenge was that it needed to be a white elephant gift. Now, are you familiar with white elephant, this concept of white elephant? I always think it's important because it's different in different countries. I'm not talking about the animal. Do you all know what a white elephant is? Let me just see some yeses or nos in the chat, and that will give me a sense of if I need to explain it. Yes, 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 I see yes from one. No, okay. So a white elephant it's a metaphor for something that you have, but you never use. It's kind of useless. You thought it was going to be valuable, but it's not. And it's a gift that you were given, or it's something you bought, and it's sitting at the back of a cupboard or at the top of a shelf. It's gathering dust. You haven't used it in years. And they're great presents to give because someone else might like it. So for our Christmas, everyone had to find their white elephant, wrap it beautifully, and bring it to lunch. The anticipation was palpable that day. Everyone was so excited to see what these gifts were. And after all that ripping off of paper and ribbons and sticky tape, all we discovered was oversized coffee cups or never before used cookbooks, or my absolute favorite, a rusty, dusty hamster cage. We're talking proper back of the garage kind of gifts. But what amazed me was the more time and the more someone enjoyed unwrapping their gift, whatever it was, the more likely they seemed to want to take it home and make it meaningful to them. I got the oversized coffee cup and I was like, wow, I'm going to turn this into a pot plant holder. My brother-in-law's bachelor best friend got the cookbook and he looked at it and went, I'm going to impress my next date. And my cousin who got the rusty, dusty hamster cage, looked at it, looked at us and said, my daughter just said she wants a hamster. So I know it seems crazy to be telling you about my crazy Christmas traditions, but that was kind of when I realized, reflecting on that experience of unwrapping those presents, loving them, even though they were someone's white elephant, and looking at my journey in Toastmasters, at my journey as a professional speaker the last 15 years, as a speaking coach, and ultimately in my journey to becoming world champion, is that your speech is a gift you give your audience. And it all comes down to how you wrap it. If they enjoy unwrapping your message, they're going to want to take it home. So this is your choice as a speaker. How do you wrap your speech? How do you give that gift so someone goes, ooh, I want this, I want to take this home? So there's choices, you know, we've got choices in how we could wrap. So you could wrap it like this and go, here you go, I've got you a present. In fact, I've got it the wrong way around. I've got you a present, here you go. Yeah, it's okay. Or you could do this and take all the fun out of it. And I'm showing you this because sometimes as Toastmasters, we tell the audience as early as our title what's in the speech. And you don't want to do this. Don't take the fun out of it. So if you're not going to make too much effort, wrap it like this. Or you can wrap it like this. So out of interest, if I was with you right now and if I was giving you gifts, which one would you want? The bag or the box? Just put it in the chat. I want to do a quick poll. Bag or the box? Which one do you want from me? If I was giving you a gift right now, bag or box? I see box, 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 box. Okay, the boxes are clear. When the wrapped one, the box, the box, the box. Why? Why do you want the box? Some of us want the bag, but most of us want the box. Why do you want the box? What is it about the box that makes you want the box? Let's see. I'm just interested to say it's pretty. What else? It looks appealing, curiosity, it's wrapped with a bow, it's nice and neat, anticipation, it's sealed, it creates a surprise, presentation, attractive. Okay, so you're spot on, nicely packaged. You can see some effort went in, that makes you curious, and also like what could be inside here. It's not obvious what's inside here. Okay, and if you like books that you might go, wow, I want it, but a lot of people don't want to be told, you have to read something. It's the effort in the packaging. So that brings me to kind of, as a speaker, if you are creating speeches that are a gift for your audience, there are 3 things you want to create in them in order for them to take your message home and make it meaningful for them. Now, what's great in everything I'm going to tell you this evening is to realize that your next winning speech, the next champion of world, the world champion of public speaking speech could be about a white elephant memory. It could be a moment that you've kind of tucked at the back of a shelf of your mind, or it's at the top of the cupboard, it's been gathering dust, you haven't thought about it in years. And suddenly when you're looking for speech material, you remember that run into a friend in a supermarket where they were looking good and you didn't feel good and you compared yourself, white elephant moment. You can remember a time when you found a letter from your dad that you haven't thought about in years, but when you're writing a speech, you dust it off, you wrap it, it suddenly becomes a winning speech. So just know that you've got moments and memories in your life right now that might be white elephants. And if you take what I'm going to teach you this evening and apply it to that moment in your life, it could become the ultimate gift for an audience. Okay, so the 3 things you want to create so that your audience wants to take your message home is curiosity is your first one. And I saw a lot of people saying the reason they like the box, it's appealing, it's intriguing, curiosity, surprise. If your audience is curious, they're leaning in. You've got their attention. So do this from as early as your title. Don't give away your message in your title. And look at world championship speeches. They often create curiosity in their titles. The Librarian and Mrs. Montgomery, The Ultimate Question, Changed by a Tire, I See Something in You. We don't know where those speeches are going, but we're curious. So look for ways to create curiosity, use pauses, set something up, but don't quite reveal it, and keep your audience on the edge of their seats. Once you've got them curious, you also want to create connection. An audience who is connected is going to go on the journey with you. Now, connection comes from speaking about things that all human beings can relate to. And men, women, old, young, different races, cultures, religion, there are things that fundamentally make us human. our fears, our hopes, our dreams, our embarrassments. And when we speak about those situations, things that happened in childhood, things that have happened in relationships, like a breakup, most people are going to understand them. So look for ways to create connection. And if you've watched my winning speech, you'll know I started by talking about being on my dad's lap, listening to fairy tales. That's an instantly connecting picture. Everyone else has had an experience in childhood like that. So create connection with your audience, because if they feel connected to your journey, if they can see themselves in the story, they're still following your story. If you've created connection and curiosity, you will get commitment. And that's ultimately, as a speaker, what you're trying to get, is you will get that commitment to your message. Okay, so 3 things. Get them curious as early as you can. Speak about connecting experiences. Let them connect to your journey, and you will get the commitment you're looking for. Okay, so if we're looking at all of that and we now go, okay, great, Verity, but how? How do I write, this winning speech? What are your 4 steps? I'm going to take this idea of gift, and I'm just going to unpack it as 4 concepts that I'm busy helping. I'm helping contestants around the world at the moment. It's opened up a whole new world of coaching, and I'm loving it. 4 things that I believe will help you write a winning speech. And we're going to unpack this word, or unwrap this word, gift. Okay, so let's start with the G. First step, fundamental, get clear on your message. A great speech only has one message. It serves one purpose, and you don't want to confuse your audience. So a great message is 10 words or less. That's actually a letter of Shah's advice, which I love. 10 words or less, and it's an actionable concept. It's an action statement. Again, look at previous world champions. Reach out, 2 words, powerful message. Validate, 1 word, validate people, clear message. The victory is in the try. Mine was write a different story. But when you find a clear message that's fresh, unique, memorable, a bit like a chorus of a song, you should be able to repeat it numerous times in your speech in different ways before you actually lecture your audience on it. And you don't ever want to lecture your audience, but when you get to your call to action, you shouldn't really be having to work. By then they've unwrapped it. They're like, I'm taking this home. So with your message statement, when you get that catchy phrase that's powerful and memorable, it should get delivered to you from a guru, not you. You are not the guru and the wise one. Normally, we're the hero of the story who's lost and dealing with some issues, and someone comes to us with the message. My speech was my dad. My dad sent me a letter that said, if your life is hard, write a different story. So that was the first time I said that message. I then looked up at him and said, how do I write a different story? I've said the message twice now in the space of 10 seconds. Firstly, receiving it. Now I'm actually rejecting it. And then I go to Facebook and I'm going, oh, well, there's no stories here of miserable 40-year-olds. And then the letter whispers to me, write a different story. So in the space of 35 seconds, I said my message 3 times in 3 different ways before I had ever said it to the audience. So this is the fun with a clear message. When you've got it, you can have it quite early in your speech, and it can come through in different ways before it becomes your call to action. And a great message statement will also give you a thread for your speech. When I got to write a different story, which took me 90 days, I'd been working on that speech for 90 days before Gary Tintinger in Johannesburg at Carpe Diem Toastmasters gave me feedback in one of my practice rounds saying, your current message of change the way you look at things isn't very original. I had to go, I had to rethink it. And when I got to write a different story, my whole speech changed. It was the same story, but now I had the analogy of fairy tales. And if you've watched my speech, you'll see how that came throughout the speech. So getting to your message isn't easy, but when you find it, it can help co-create your whole speech with you. So this is where you want to spend your time, because this ultimately is your gift for the audience. This is what they're going to take home. So don't skimp on this. Don't be unoriginal. Find your message. Don't quote someone else. Make it yours and give that to the audience. The I of the gift. Once you've gotten clear on the message, and sometimes this comes later, so you can have a basic idea and you'll keep working on it, but where the bulk of your work is going to happen is in intentionally crafting your story. you know, stories can be very chronological, and you can go, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, this happens. Bah, it's boring. You want to create tension, intrigue, excitement, engagement. So how do you do that? You've got to create your setting of your story as quickly as possible. Throw your audience into the setting, the time, the place. Okay, they need to know where they are, and then they need to know who is the hero and what is the obstacle they're facing. Okay, so setting, the hero, the obstacle. And you want to do that as quickly as possible. I'd probably done that in the first 40 seconds of my speech, in my spare room, eating ice cream, watching Netflix, 40, unmarried, miserable. Now we know this girl has a problem. We know where she is. Life is not going well. In your obstacle, that's where you create a story that's engaging, because you want to escalate the tension. You want to show that the hero is really struggling to overcome what's between them and what they want. So I did things like running into a friend whose life was better than mine. My room was a mess. You know, I was going nowhere. And only when it got to the point of like, wow, this girl really, like, what's going to happen? That's when you introduce your resolution. And that's your guru who brings the message. So that could be someone or something. It doesn't have to be a person. I mean, in Prez Vazilev, 2013 world champion, his guru was a tire, a flat tire taught him to reach out. So you can get the lesson from anyone or anything, just not from you. And so the resolution comes from an outside force. And as the hero, we need to contend with that. So we receive it. And sometimes it's useful to maybe reject it, grapple with it, think about it, and then apply it. You know, the audience wants to see you transform. They want to see how you took this lesson you learned and what did you change in your life? Because by sharing your transformation, when you finally get to your point, your call to action for your whole speech, they've already taken it home. They've gone, well, it worked for you, I'm buying it. You don't need to lecture them. Okay, so intentionally craft stories. Quick setting, visual, we know where we are, when we are, who's the hero, what's their obstacle, build that tension. Resolution and message comes from an outside force. And finally, after showing how you've transformed, you make your point. I know it's a lot to take in, but this is the stuff that works. So get clear on your message, intentionally craft your story. The third step is maybe a surprising step, but I believe it's why I'm world champion. And that is you have to fill in the gaps for your audience. The gift is for them. If you don't ask them what's missing in your speech, how will you ever give the best possible speech? So if you've got time to speak at 42 clubs, you're going to fill in the gaps for your audience. They told me what they needed. And I had the humility eventually to make the changes. And some of my best lines in my final speech came from feedback. I got feedback from a woman in London saying, I love your speech, Verity, but I'm in my 60s and you changed at 40. It's too late for me. I thought, wow, I thought my speech was speaking to everyone. I went and looked at it and I thought, all I need to do is change two things, saying it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what chapter of your life you're in. And then I added in that my dad, his life went wrong in his 60s. If I hadn't received her feedback, I wouldn't have known that I was missing the older people in my audience. They were maybe feeling disconnected from my message. So ask your audience, what are the gaps? What do you need more of? What is you less of? And when you get that feedback, that's when you start really to write a winning speech. And this is the hard part. This is the part that pushed me, it challenged me. But throughout the entire contest journey last year, what I was reminding myself was, yes, I'm trying to win. It'd be great if Verity could win this contest, but actually I'm trying to win for Africa. And you can ask, you know, I spoke at so many clubs in the district. I was like, let's see if we can bring this back for Africa. My sister played Waka Waka on the day of the finals. We drove around Cape Town going, it's time for Africa. But part of that commitment to being open to feedback was that I wanted to win, but I knew if I was not writing a speech for the world, not just for Africa, and we can't just write speeches for Africa, we need to ask international audiences, do you understand my speech? Does this make sense? So I was saying things like I lived in a caravan. They were like, do you mean camper van? So I changed my speech. So ask your audience, fill in the gaps, and you will take your speech to the next level. 3 steps. Get clear on your message, intentionally craft your story, fill in the gaps for your audience. Final step, tie it all together. Winning speeches have winning conclusions. And in my experience, a winning conclusion, all it does is tie up everything that's happened before it in the speech into this beautiful final gift that is presented to the audience. So if you've written a great speech, when you get to the conclusion, you should be able to just go back and say, right, I can bring that from the introduction. So I said, fairy tales are great to read to my son. I said, my dad used to read it to me. And then I referred back to the letter that he'd written me and saying, he reminded me I was the author of my life. I referred back to, it doesn't matter what chapter of your life you're in. And right at the end, my closing words were, if you write a different story, trust me, it'll be a great read. That was my title. So in your conclusion, if you've written your speech beautifully, you should be able to just tie in all those powerful nuggets that you've already said and present it back to the audience with the call to action. 4 steps to create a gift. And if you do these, I really believe you will take your speaking to the next level. Whether you are preparing for a contest, a club meeting, or a conference, or a boardroom meeting, or just a team meeting, if you go, what's my message? How can I put this in a story so that it's easy for them to remember? How can I make sure I've considered my audience, filled in some gaps for them? And can I tie it all together so that I finish with power? That's when I believe you will be writing winning speeches. And, yes, you have to buy your ticket. You have to put your name in the hat. You have to jump in and see how far you can go in terms of Toastmasters. But if you bring this intention to your speaking, I believe every time you open your mouth, you will be giving a gift to your audience and they will remember you. And this is where leaders are made. We become leaders because people are touched by us. They're moved by our message and they become more as a result of what we've shared. So I'm just so grateful to be here with all of you to share a little bit of what I've learned in the process of becoming world champion. It has changed my life. It has kept me very, very busy. And I just want to keep bringing this learning back into Africa because we have voices on this continent and stories and messages that the world needs to hear. But our job is to craft those messages so that they connect to the audience and they connect to audiences everywhere. So we have to take our Africanness and still make it accessible for everyone. I think that's our biggest journey as Southern African speakers, and to make sure that they love the message that we bring. So I see some notes saying I've got a book. I'm so excited. I've just gone live on my website, and the price, you know what I'm going to do? It's on my website. It's called Present with Power. It is a step-by-step guide to help you write winning speeches. So if you want that, what I'm going to do is after I finish, I'm going to pop on my website and I'm going to halve the price because it's $19. So it's quite expensive. I'm going to bring it down to like $9.99 for Southern Africa. So I'm going to go and do that for you. And if you want to have this as a step-by-step guide to structuring, delivering, and writing a fantastic speech, I'd love for you to have it in your home so that you can use it. And if you are looking for coaching, I would love to coach as many Southern African speakers as I can. I'm looking at maybe doing bigger courses to help people, but for any of our district hopefuls, please get in touch. I'm so happy to do a trade, figure something out, because I just want to make sure that we have the best possible speeches at district, because we need to go back to the semifinals. So I love this. I love this country. I love this continent. I love this district. And I really hope that this title doesn't just stay with me, that all I've done is broken a ceiling for the extraordinary speakers on our continent, and that we see many more world champions come back and give their gifts to the world. And you know what, let's just buy our tickets. Let's keep putting our names in the hat, because the world needs to hear us. They need to know that we're here and that we have something to say and that we have value to add. And so if nothing else, for every single one of you, please pick up your pen, write your winning speech, share your story with the world, and let's keep taking Southern Africa to the next levels. So I'm going to change the price on my book. So just give me a few minutes and we're going to do some questions and answers, and then get yourself a book and we're going to make it happen. So I am up for Q&As. Any questions, anything I can help to get your speaking to the next level, anything you want to know about my journey to world champion, I am here to share. So what can I help with?
Verity, I can suggest that people put up their hands, their Zoom hands, so you can see who's putting up a hand.
I love Zoom hands. Let's put some Zoom hands. I'll look, there's quite a few of us, but any questions, anything you want to know, that let me fill in the gaps for you. Including impromptu speech, making to fill up the gaps. Now, impromptu speaking is very difficult and very different. So in impromptu speaking, you still have the opportunity to get a clear message across with an intentionally crafted story and title together. Can you fill in the gaps at that moment? No, because you're in the moment. But can you tell a story where you build tension and you create curiosity and connection because you're talking about something people identify with, and you manage to get through like a message and title together in the end? That's what a great impromptu speaker does. So you can definitely do 3 of the bits. And if you're getting used to creating connection with your audience and talking about connected experience, that naturally fills in a lot of gaps already. What else? What other questions do we have?
Lame's hand is up.
Nomu, yeah.
That is Lame.
Lame, sorry, I can't see. I've got a lot of screens here that I'm trying to see the names on. Lame, please.
Good evening, Verity, and thank you for an amazing presentation. My question is, are you able to give us handles on how to be comfortable in your own skin? I can see you're very comfortable, and when you're comfortable, you become more confident in what you're saying, in what you're offering to the audience. So if maybe you can just share handles on how to be comfortable so that you become confident.
I'm so glad you asked that question. And actually in my introduction in my book, I share my journey of being terrified of speaking at school to getting to the point that I love speaking. And it was my biggest fear. And I think there's 2 things. One is when you've got something that you want to say, something that matters to you, even if you don't say it well, but you say it from an authentic place, that's already incredibly powerful. But the big lesson for me that shifted everything for me was working with a singing coach actually in America named Joe. And Joe said to me, I'm not going to teach you how to sing. I'm going to teach you how to be confident. I was like, how do you teach someone to be confident? And the way Joe taught people to be confident was strange because he just made everything go wrong. He would turn up the music, turn down the music, shout at me, knock over the microphone. And I was like, and he was like, Verity, if things go wrong, you just keep on, do not get distracted. I was like, how do I do this? But over the space of 3 months, he toughened me up to being okay with things not being okay. And I believe that's what Toastmasters allows us to do. We come to our meetings and it's okay for it not to be okay. It's okay for a speech to go wrong, for us to forget our words, and everyone still applauds and everyone still says, well done. And then we come back and we do it again. And at some point when you realize that you can't actually get it wrong. I mean, today when I started, my camera went blurry. I had to restart. That's fine. So what? But 10 years ago, that might have thrown me. So confidence comes from standing up repeatedly and doing it again and again. But speak about things that matter to you. Don't speak about topics where you're trying to be clever or intellectual. Tell your stories. Tell the things that you love telling your friends. Speak from that place and the confidence will grow. Anyone else?
There is a hand up, Surnia or Sumya.
Go for it. Let's hear you.
Soumya Mukherjee.
Hi.
Hi, I'm from India, and I have a few questions, just two I'll ask. One is, did you ever face writer's block or speech block?
So the writer's block is real. It's very hard. I was lucky with my semi-final speech was that just, I wasn't trying to write a contest speech, which also helped. I wrote it as a club speech. I went, oh, that's a contest speech. For my final speech, I was like, wow, this is going to be better than what I've won district with. And I wrote about 7 different speeches before I got to my final speech. What helped me was I made a very clear decision. If I'm speaking about my mom in semifinals, I'm speaking about my dad in finals. So it's kind of a strange way to approach speaking, but it made it easier because it narrowed my focus. And that helped me eventually get to my speech. But with the writer's block, I find having a coach or a mentor really helps. My sister is amazing. So we sat and, I would phone her and we would brainstorm and then she would get it moving again. So if you've got a block, have someone you can bounce ideas off to get the juices flowing again. This is not something you do by yourself. I realized that when I won last year, I had won because I had crowdsourced my speech. My audience wrote my speech with me and kept pushing the speech forward. So don't try to do it by yourself. Ask people, involve people, and you'll find that the creative flow comes back.
Do you coach Indians too?
Sorry?
Do you coach Indians too?
I do. I coach all over the world now. It's amazing. And I just say to people, if you're on my website, just email me because the coaching, everything's in dollars because most of my people are now international, which is amazing. But I'm very happy to find rates that work for different countries because I know what it's like with our exchange rates.
Thank you.
If someone can just let me know, just tell me what's coming because I'm struggling to see who's asking what. Day chair. Yes. Hashtag day chair.
Hi there, Verity.
Hello.
Yes, congratulations
Valdemar,
and thank you for being with us. Yes, thank you very much for being with us. Right now you're standing at the top of the mountain. You are the one that we all look at and say that, yes, when I grow up, I want to be just like her. Now, tell me, how do you keep it leveled at this point that you are at? You know that you're standing at the top of the mountain and okay, you won the world's championships, but how do you keep a balance towards, okay, I achieved something really great, but I still have a lot more to achieve? Where is the equilibrium? Where do you find that point?
That is such a good question, Valdemar. So the bottom line is, and I really want to say this because it's very easy. I want to win the lottery. I want to go to the Olympics. I want to be the world champion. And sometimes it's very easy for us to think if those things happened, then I'll be different. Then I'll be happy. Then somehow my life will be miraculously changed. But like the day I became district champion, 20 minutes later, I was changing a dirty diaper. Like I'm normal, life carried on, nothing changes. I won in a spare room. I still haven't left my home. Next week's the first time I'm flying anywhere since winning. So there's a movie, Cool Runnings, and the Jamaican bobsled team is trying to get to the Olympics. And someone says to them, if you're not enough without the trophy, you won't be enough with it. And I think this is very important for us all to know, like, why do we want to win anything? And after I won, it was amazing. But then I realized the reality is that this title is actually a responsibility and it's an obligation to give back to the Toastmasters community, to share what I've learned, to help other speakers. And this is really, it is just the start. It looks like a pinnacle, but it's kind of like you get there and then you look up and you go, oh, wow, there's Mount Everest, because there's books I need to write. There's courses I need to create. There's more keynotes I need to write. So it just is another amazing step. It's incredible because it's opened up a lot of opportunities, but it's also brought a lot of added responsibility. And to our next district champion, when they receive that big, beautiful trophy, they'll know what I mean. It comes with the weight. It comes with the weight of 12 countries saying, please do us proud. And if you take that on, it's a lot of work because it's not just about you. So the balance for me is I got a trophy, but more importantly, I got the growth, and my job is to take that growth now and turn it into value for myself and for others. I hope that answers your question.
That definitely does. Thank you.
And please, I know there's links in the chat, but if you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get a lovely little PDF, a free PDF booklet of what I've shared in this talk today. So just that breakdown of writing a winning speech. There's also a surprise song from me. So there's some nice things there. And then you can keep in touch because I send monthly newsletters giving tips on speaking, virtual, just all sorts of things to help keep your speaking at another level. And then you can keep in touch if there's any ways I can help you. One more question. We're much quieter on questions than other countries I'm seeing. It's surprising. I'm used to Southern Africa being quite, we're better on the chat. We've got good interaction, but we're quiet on questions. Howard.
Yes. Thanks, Verity. Verity, how often do you rehearse a speech before district and before, world championship?
Good question, Howard. So I started writing my speech 3 months before the contest, and I was already doing it at district open houses. And by the time I got to district, probably rehearsed it 150, 200 times. And then again, the same amount to get to the semifinals. So we're talking in the last 3 months of the contest, I spent 2 to 4 hours a day working on my 2 speeches, speaking at 2 to 4 clubs a day. It was the most intense thing I've ever done. And since winning, speaking to other world champions and other finalists that have reached the finals, the average amount of clubs people practice at is 40. The average amount of times they rehearse their speech is 200. The average amount of versions of speech they write, 30. And the average amount of time in the last 3 months is between 1 hour to 4 hours a day. So I was perfectly average in the amount of effort that goes into getting to the finals. And there's no shortcuts to that final stage. And the 3 people that said they didn't take feedback in their speaking journey, none of them placed in the finals. So they got to the finals, but they weren't champions. Every champion asked people for feedback, applied it, got coaching. So there are very clear trends and themes. It's, you wouldn't go to the Olympics without a coach. You wouldn't go to the Olympics without getting up at 4 o'clock every morning to train. This is the Olympics of speaking, and it takes that much effort. I have, just so you know, I've managed to, I'm multitasking, but if anyone does want to buy my book, I've brought it down to $10, so it makes it a lot more reasonable, and it's a PDF and you can go and grab it. So it is there on my website if you want it. And that's average. Yes, Similala, you're right. I wasn't special. I was average. But maybe just a closing thought. I think they're going to play a little video just to bring it all together. But I really want to see this trophy come back to this continent many times. And it means that in our clubs, we need to encourage the contestants who buy their tickets. And, sometimes you're just buying it to compete at club, but that's great because you're going to work harder on that speech than you ever work on a normal club speech. So enter. Not everyone enters to become world champion, but if you've got someone in your club that's got their eyes set on getting to district and maybe the finals, then support them, raise money in your club, pay for coaching, help them. This shouldn't be one individual Toastmaster killing themselves to suddenly represent an entire district and make everyone look good. So we should get behind our contestants. And by the time you've got division level winners, clubs of those winners should be finding money to pay for them to have coaching, because the district final speech is going to what gets them into the semifinals. And if it doesn't cut the grade, they're going to be amongst the 100 people that don't make the semifinals. So please, as a district, let's prioritize supporting our contestants, because it's expensive for us to get support, you know, from internationals. And there's lots of world finalists and champions that you can be coached from. It's expensive. It cost me a fortune. And I had to ask for favors, and I'm glad I did. But let's get behind our contestants and not let that be a reason why we don't shine on the final stage. And I think I'm sure I should probably just hand over to someone and just say thank you. So lovely to be back with everyone. And I can't wait to watch our district finals and see who our new champion is.
Maybe I'm crazy thinking that this might work. Maybe I'm crazy wanting something that might hurt. Maybe it's madness to start something that might end. Maybe it's easier to just not begin. Now maybe delusional, believing this stands a chance when so many before have proved that good things don't last. Seems a little bit naive to step in anyway, but I'd be crazy if I didn't take a step around the corner, confronting all that I don't know, the storms that I might weather, the times of being out of control, not having all the answers was never a reason not to try. What if the right brothers hadn't believed that they could fly? Believe that they could fly. I'd be crazy now.
Sorry, you were saying?
Thank you, District 74.
Amazing, amazing, and amazing. We got such a great gift today. You do remember, right? The G is for get clear on your message. The I is for intentionally craft your story. The F is for fill in the gap for the audience. And the T is for tie it all together. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you were paying great attention to Verity. You saw that she had a singing coach. She's a great singer. Let me tell you something that you might not be aware of. Did you know that back in 2005, Verity started her journey as the first South African musician with the tenacious foresight to get online crowdfunding, get this straight, for an album she hadn't even recorded yet. And here we are, 15 years later, with a career with so many accolades. And in 2021, she becomes the first speaker from Africa to be crowned the world champion of public speaking and the 6th woman in history. My friends, if that is not a great read into an inspiring life, I don't know what is. Thank you very much, Verity, for this session today. We enjoyed it. And I know you are just all over the world now, but please don't forget Africa and don't forget District 74 and don't forget us. I know you will not forget us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now buckle up your seatbelts because we are about to take a trip to the last spectacular country for today. Valdemar, if I tell you that our next country is very interesting, 1/5 of it is composed of water. What would you say to that?
Well, if I lived there, I definitely wouldn't get thirsty at all.
Now, Valdemar, if I tell you that this country has the 3rd largest and 2nd deepest lake in Africa, oh yes, its lake is home to more species of fish than any other lake on the planet. Mind you, that's more species of fish than can be found in all the fresh waters of Europe combined. Now, Valdemar, what would you say to that?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to know, where is this paradise land? Secondly, besides not being thirsty, I wouldn't be hungry either.
Indeed, no hunger, no thirst. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the country whose name literally means fire flames. The name takes after the rising sun's reflection over the waters of Lake Malawi. Yes, I'm talking about Malawi, the warm heart of Africa. Zoom Master, without any further ado, make us plunge and swim and dive and drown in the beauty of Malawi.
A land of stunning sights and warm-hearted people, Malawi. Experience Lake Malawi, the Lake of Stars. A magnificent body of glistening water, the 5th largest freshwater lake in the world. Home to over 1,000 species of endemic cichlids. A refreshing swim, some fun on a jet ski or an adventure in a kayak, and so many exciting water activities to explore in this natural aquarium. However, that is not all this land has to offer. A boat ride on one of Africa's greats, the exceptional Shire River. From the safety of the boat, watch enormous elephants quench their thirst while the hippos cool off. A spectacular wildlife in national parks and game reserves. Birds tweeting, lions basking in the glory of their pride while nurturing their young cubs. Cheetahs relishing the warmth of the sun, elephants trumpeting, and so much more. It's a complete safari experience in Africa's newest Big 5 destination. A hike to Ngoma, Ngala Yapakamwa, or to the highest peak in the Central Africa, Sapitwa. Rising from the luscious tea plantations will give you a view that is a beauty to behold. The Cholo and Mulanje Highlands, the Zomba Plateau, the stunning plains of Nika, the Malape Pillars, each of these a gift from nature worth experiencing. Just when you think it's over, you're exposed to cultural vibrancy that is in song, dance, food, and not to be missed, festivals. Our cities are a hub of activities. Malawi has it all. a complete African holiday experience, rich in contrast, compact in size, and big in hospitality. Malawi, the warm heart of Africa.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Malawi is a warm part of Africa, the warm heart of Africa indeed. Oh my gosh. Did you see those mountain peaks, ladies and gentlemen? And when you're standing on there, I believe that you feel like you can conquer anything just from standing from that point of view. And how about the guy that was dancing in the like the traditional clothing and so forth? And he was just, man, he made that dance move looks amazing. I would love, when I go to Malawi, I'm definitely going to meet up with that guy. I want to learn his dance moves. He was totally on point right there. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what? We have flown to amazing countries, great places today. There is no doubt that in District 74, it's rich with wildlife, with culture, with natural beauty, and especially with human warmth. We have given you visual treats of amazing countries today. And we have heard inspiring, award-winning speakers deliver the best of their wisdom to us. Now, Madvi, it is time for us to play a game.
Indeed, Valdemar. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Madvi a dull girl. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for fun, for play, for enjoyment. And to play, we have among us the deputy convener for MayCon, the smiling, the radiant, the vibrant Leia Masunga. My lovely Leia, please tell us, what have you got up to your sleeves? What have you held in store for us? Let us know.
Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. And I said we have a game for you. And earlier I tried to share some of the instructions in terms of how to play the game. And I will now just launch it because you need to log on to the, if you have a cell phone or you have two laptops, then you can log on with the codes that I'll share, or even just scanning with the QR code so that you can enter the game. And so that is the site that you need to go on for us to start the game. You go to www.https, go to AHA slide, / or you can just scan the QR code, and I will try and see if I can share in the chat. So, okay, I can see 6 people are joining, 7. Oh, okay, you guys know how it works. I can see 9 people have joined. Yeah, so I'll just give you guys a few minutes to join, but you just need to join. So you can scan or you can use the QR code. So let us reach to maybe 20 people. I'll just give you 1 more minute. All right, I can see people are really joining. So we will hopefully have we'll have a first round of just a few questions, just so you can appreciate how the game goes. I can see people are really registering. All right, 30 more seconds. All right, we have quite a couple of people registered and I can see I've even written your names. Wow, this is great. All right, so we're just gonna have, okay, more people are coming in. Okay, 38 people. Oh, wow. All right. So I'm just gonna do a test run. I hope you guys are ready. Let's do question 1. So there is your first question, nice and easy. And let us see. Oh, wow. And that correct, 18 people got the first answer right. That is okay. We move on to our next. So this is just the test run. We've got about 7 questions. Namibia is bordered by which ocean? And we have some items you can choose. And the correct answer is the Atlantic. Next. The most successful African musician. Let's see how well you guys know African musicians. Time's up. Oh, wow, very close. The right answer is Usndor. I was also shocked when I found that out. So that's in terms of I think the amount of money he has. And then Madagascar is the dash largest island in the world. We heard this in the video last night. So if you were paying attention to the videos, you should be able to get this answer right. Let us see the score. And the answer is number 9. Oh, sorry, 9 people got it right, which is 4. It's the 4th largest island in the world. How many white squares are on a chessboard? So let us see how many of us play games or are very familiar with this. Okay. And wow, people knew the answer. All right, so that's 32. Very interesting. And our 7th question. So that was just our test run. So we can see a person who is leading is Howard at 200 points. So now we'll just see how well we can see our 2nd place, Praying Mantis, then Lindy, we've got Nolo Han and Royce Royce. So I'm just looking at the time. I hope we have sufficient time to do now the rest of the questions. So get ready, guys. That's how easy it is. And we're now going to move on to the next set of questions. So quiz time, we have the first round, entertainment, 7 questions. Songs in air. So this is, how well do you know Alicia Keys' song? Maybe, maybe not. Songs in A minor. I can see people tried. Move on to our next question. Another audio song. This should be easy. All right. Crazy in love. That is the correct answer. Next question. Which song stayed the number one for the longest in the 80s? So now this might date some people, or some people might be familiar. Time's up. Ooh, Billie Jean was so close. It was actually Olivia Newton-John with Physical. Yeah, very nice guess. That was definitely to make you think one way. Next question. This should be.
Sorry, Leia, are you audio sharing also, or is the audio coming through your microphone?
I thought the audio was coming through. Is it not coming through?
Past few songs not. One of the earlier ones did come through. It might be that the echo cancellation or the same audio cancellation is on because you are not audio sharing, or you must mute yourself temporarily while playing a song.
All right, I'll do that. Weekend special, that's correct. 40 people got that correct.
We are not here. I'm not hearing any audio. Best is perhaps stop screen sharing and then just restart screen sharing, making sure that the share audio is ticked.
We'll just do one more round. We'll just do one more round, which is geography. So there are about 11 questions. So we'll conclude at the end of this round. And There are no audios in this particular round. My apologies for the audio. I didn't realize it wasn't being heard. So the answer was Table Mountain, and that is correct. We'll move on to the next question. What's the former name for Zimbabwe? If you were listening, or maybe you know your geography or your history. And it is Southern Rhodesia. All right, next question. The capital city from Bambani is named after. So if you watch the video, you should know this answer. They really said it in the video when they were talking about Bambani Toastmasters and Bambani the city. So how well were you listening? Time's up. It's named after a river. Okay, just a few people got that right. Move on to the next question. What is the former name of Zimbabwe? Oh gosh, looks like this question is repeated. Sorry. The name of the waterfall found on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. This should be the easiest question. And it's Victoria Falls. That's move on to our next question. And what is the largest desert in Southern Africa? The largest desert in Southern Africa. So, is it Sahara, Kalahari, Karoo, Nami? What is the largest desert in Africa? Which one could it be? Sahara, Karoo, Nami, Kalahari? 40 people have already answered. Time's up, and Kalahari, that is correct. Move on to the next. Which of these is the flag of Malawi? We have been seeing the flags all the time on the screen. How well were you paying attention? How well are you paying attention to the flag? Which of these is the flag of Malawi? 15, 17, 20. All right, people are really answering really quickly. 30. And 36 have answered. 37, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 17 people got it right. I can see, okay, you guys are paying attention. So this was also in the video for that we listened to for Namibia. Oh. Everyone should have that right because I accidentally said the answer. All right, moving to the next question. Eswatini is bordered by. This is another geography question. Could be tricky, I don't know. Is it bordered by Zimbabwe, South Africa, Lesotho, Mozambique? Bordered by which country? Zimbabwe, South Africa, Lesotho, Mozambique. The country of Eswatini. 38 people have answered, 39, 40. Time's up. And it is South Africa and Mozambique. So it's actually two countries. It was sort of a tricky question. Which of these flags is the flag of Mauritius? Another question to see how well you're paying attention to our flags being displayed this evening. Which of these flags is the flag of Mauritius? I see lots of tears. And the answer is the middle one is the flag for Mauritius. And what's the official language of Angola? Angola, what is the official language? Is it French, Portuguese, English, or Bundu? What is the official language of Angola? It is Portuguese. So if you got that right, well done. So we'll end here today. And let us see how we are doing with our leaderboard. Oh, Praying Mantis has taken over the lead, and we have Lindy in second place, and we have Howard, Lolo, and Matimu. All right, let me just see the rest of the top 10. Then we have Gabby, Rose Royce, the Bees, Bame, and Dan M from Lavenir. All right, those are the top 10. Let me see how far it goes. Top 15, Sizzling, Nozipo, Rick, Sunshine, Viola. Then we have Lori, Zavai, Future, Spoo, and we'll end at, okay, top 20, Hani and Zainab. So that is where we end this evening. Thank you so much for participating in our game this evening. My apologies for the sound on some of the earlier clips. I thought I tested it and it was fine, but we do have technical issues in when we're online sometimes. At this point, I'd like to hand back to our day chairs. Thank you so much for participating. I can see people, most of you guys who have been paying attention to our videos, and you do know a little bit of geography of our lovely district 34. Back to you, our lovely day chairs.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Leia. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an exciting time today. All exciting because our audience, you amazing people who reached the levels of 170, 80 today, participated so well with us. We felt like we weren't just making the show happen. You helped us make the show a reality, right? It was so amazing. We had our amazing speakers as well that joined us now. And Madhvi, how will we continue? How will it be continued?
Oh my God, to be continued tomorrow. Day 3 of MayCon 2021-2022. Guys, it is a very packed program tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. In the afternoon, our friends, the day chairs, Arthur Evans and Sibeng Rakwana will be leading the event. Don't miss the cabinet cabinet parade, and of course, the Hall of Fame. You might see your club there. You might see your club members there. Who knows where the awards will go? And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to type #Toastmasters Conference. You might be winning amazing prizes.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Madhvi herself. It is #Toastmasters Conference on Twitter. Now, it has been a pleasure to be amongst all of you today, and we wish that we could stay, but why would we have to stay if we're going to be together tomorrow? Please let us all show up in numbers, and please let us share this amazing energy that we've been giving today. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, and from myself and Madhvi, we have to say thank you.
Thank you, and good evening.
All the time I used to crack, oh, no clothes, bang bang, all I got him haja. You know nothing, I know. Chipanda Juda, wins in the cafe, yeah, Mr. Nobody, oh yeah, Chipanda Juda, wins in the cafe, yeah, Mr. Nobody, oh yeah, Nakuna Bobambalambani. Babalaza nyumba yojuja kumalimbila na maguza. Don't just see my glory. Ndakona bobambalambana. Babalaza nyumba yojuja kumalimbila na maguza. Yeah, don't just see my glory. When I look back in the Maria, no single bila yosamila. Chipanda Yehova nditamila. Yeah, don't just see my glory. If I tell you won't believe, love me now, you love me now. See me then you want to say, come on, tell you a story.
Great to see you.
Mama diri mezzo sali, babu diri mezzo Betira di mezzo joli, betira di mezzo patli, pour les capables qu'on pense à danse là. La maman la liti a sobeti, na tu obeti. La papa la liti a sobeti, n'a pas hésité mais pour te danser. Quand tu pour danser, tu peux n'a récompense. Na tu obeti, na tu obeti. Nacho beti, nacho beti. Amise, amise sante danse. Oh, tamo que la botante, tamo que la botante. Ay, te la budul, no poteja. Te la budul, no poteja. When I was a girl. Singishaya ngithenge
Uyangitshela magedala watithela ngalabanza bo wathi kimi ngumfati hey makota uhloniphi lapho wenze khona ukhona yini lova lesikhalo sami ay 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 oh 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 ngilamleleni oh oh ngilamleleni oh oh ngilamleleni oh oh qinisela mhlawumbe kutawulunga kanzini lena insinza bechathi wo uyelele bulukhune menzeni ayibo inyanza leyo ngilamleleni oh ngilamleleni.
Just like that.
Thank you
Where's
so
the
much,
DJ?
everyone.
This was great.
We're
Who killed
surprised
the
it's still
DJ?
here.
Who kills the DJ?
Oh, what a night, everyone.
Bertus, let the music play on.
There's some people that still has a bit of work to do, so we must close off.
Of course.
Okay, so the role players will be
you.
staying behind for a quick discussion so that we can learn how to do this even better next time around. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen,